Hi, this is Reverb Audio, and it's Janos, and this is another of my uh, handheld impromptu sessions. I hope you don't get seasick. And I'm now. This is time to share with you Frank's comment on mono, and I'd like to really take time on it and just reserve this video to reflect on Frank's comment on mono recordings. And he wrote that, "Hello Janos, this is something many audiophiles don't know yet. It is not about the difference between mono versus stereo, but it's about the recording capture of music at a single point by one microphone." So what is this? And so what Frank is hinting at, that the mono is not about the technology, that so not that aspect that you are just listening to one speaker instead of the two, and not the essence of mono does not come at your reproduction site when you are playing it back, but the importance of it is at the recording side. So when the recording was done with a point source, because if there was only one microphone receiving all the information, then everything is time correct, and it has a coherency to it, that even when we split it to two microphones, then that phase and time coherence is already lost. The only way to have ultimate phase and time coherence is using one microphone to record. When we go to two microphones or 3, 4, 10, then we are introducing such a thing that we need an engineer to tweak and fine-tune the aspects. It's much harder to place two microphones than to place one microphone to record. And when we go to 3 and more, it becomes impossible to capture the acoustic integrity of that recording. And that's something that most people never experience what this is about, because the most stereo systems, most hi-fi or high-end or hype-end systems are perfectly incapable of giving back that integrity that can be captured by a single microphone. And this is the only way to respect the time differences between the instruments and singers and the mixing of harmonics of all sources. So yeah, so I just went by my own head, and Frank is sharing the same thing, because time shifts, even the subtlest ones, correlate to the placement, distance, musical relation. And when you, instead of one point, you have like two microphones or 3 or 4, then you are breaking up all these correlations between the timings, between the distances. And eventually, if we have like two mics recording the music at the venue, then if we place a system with the speakers right where the microphones are, then we could create, I would say, a very similar or very coherent acoustic space. But as we place the speakers at a different distance than the microphones were placed, then this correlation, it gets broken. And when we have only one microphone or one loudspeaker, there is no correlation between that needs to be fought over between multiple sources. It's just one source to record, one source to play back, and everything is right there. And when you listen to mono at a very high level system, then the big thing that comes up in comparison to stereo is that there's a tremendous coherence to it, unity. something a naturalness. And when you have even the best stereo recordings, it's gone. It feels gimmicky. So if you are used to listening to mono, then when you go to stereo, because nowadays most stereo recordings are done with enforced very wide bandwidth and lots of new technologies are available to increase resolution and so on. So you will notice that there's tremendously more hype to it. So you can get a more ding, more bling, deeper burp. So you have a much bigger show for stereo, but the soul is gone. It feels gimmicky, even though it's so spectacular, but it's just so fake at the same time. And if you don't know quality mono, then you don't know that stereo is fake compared to that. And yes, I love a lot of stereo recordings, and also I have to share with you again that like 90% of all mono recordings is mediocre to poor, but at the same time, same is true for stereo recording. 90% of stereo recordings is mediocre to poor. So when you are comparing, you cannot just compare stereo to mono, because within stereo we have fantastic phenomenal recordings, we have average, and we have really bad ones. And if you just toss on a random mono recording, then it's the same thing. You have excellent ones, average ones, and really poor, really bad, terrible ones as well. And nowadays, how most people listen to mono is just like a digitized version, and when you do that, you lose 99% of what mono has in itself. And okay, so they have also depth imaging and tonal balance impossible to respect with multi-miking or individual close miking. Yes, that's totally true. Even the best two microphone setup only comes close to it. Yes. One speaker, one amplifier, one mic. Sakuma-san did this, and people were astonished when they listened for the first time in Paris long ago. Even I was totally washed out by this experience. I would never have gone back to mono, wasn't it for the sake of listening to Sakuma's system. That's what I'm also saying, that you really have to hear it, because before I heard it, I was also thinking, this is totally rubbish, and it really takes experimenting to get there. And yeah, if hearing is believing, one must pass this experience before fully aware of this, before becoming fully aware of this kind of old school recording. We won since then a lot, but at the price of what we lost. Yes. So with stereo and now modern recording, if we are looking at the majority, just looking at high quality recordings, there's much more high quality recordings today than there were in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. But we have lost something, and and this is it. So when we are looking at the strength of today's recording techniques, we will not find that in the old mono recordings. But the other side is true as well. We will not find the strength of mono in today's stereo world. So thank you, Frank, for your comment, and I hope this helps everyone to have a little bit more clear picture of mono. And I really recommend exploring mono, but I want to caution you all again that if your stereo system works more towards creating a high-end sound, and it's not optimized to be a natural system. So for example, if you have a high feedback, low current, high current speaker system, which is like low efficiency, lots of power, especially transistorized gear, then you will have absolute failure with mono. And then you will say that all mono is rubbish. And that's not because mono is rubbish, that's because your system is 100% geared towards reproducing modern recordings, and it's incapable of reproducing mono. So to reproduce mono, you need system that can do that. And I would say give it a try. And if your system can reproduce mono, then I suggest looking into mono recordings. And if you gave it a try and it didn't do it for you, don't worry. Don't fuss too much about it. Uh, just continue doing what you love, continue optimizing your system to a goal that you want to achieve, and just look out for your buddies and friends. And if someone has a system that is good at reproducing mono, just go over and have a listen and just decide for yourself, is that something you really want to look into, or it was okay, an interesting experience, but you don't want to connect to the past of mankind. You don't, it's not a priority for you. For me, it's a huge priority to be able to time travel. For me, the top priority of audio gear is a time machine. And if you are interested in that, then I will have more advice to share on how you build your time machine. Because now with my system that I have today, I'm 100% satisfied with, but I have ideas how to hone this time machine quality even more. So that will be hopefully in the near future. It depends on my time and my schedule, but let's hope for the best. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Frank, for your amazing comments. Please have a wonderful day. Bye bye.